Okay, so much is going on in the world. I feel like the world is falling apart. And if you grew up reading the Bible or been a Christian, then you was taught that there's going to come a day when there's going to be a deceptive religion that's going to deceive so many people. And it looks like, y'all, we are now here. We have arrived. I don't know if you believe, but I think it's time for y'all to do what I'm doing and start opening that book up. Out of the south is coming a dragon, and it's starting to give Elon Musk. I don't know about you, but that is the signs that I am seeing. It was so much happening. I had said, let me just go live and let's stick to the thing that we doing. And so it's so much happening. I was looking at MSNBC. I like to hear Jasmine Crockett, Democrat. She's no longer a freshman, but Democrat of the House committee, and somebody that it takes to fight a Trump. It takes a Jasmine Crockett or an AOC or a Raskin. These are people that make up the Democratic Party that looks like America. Raskin, Jewish, AOC, Puerto Rican, Jasmine Crockett, black. They all strong and they all with it. That's what it's going to take to beat a Trump, a con man, a liar, a man that race baits, a man that's a criminal convicted. I don't know if y'all not, but y'all need to get mad at y'all governors too. If you got any loved ones that's in prison and they've been given excessive sentences, you need to pull that pen and paper out or that whatever and write that letter and demand that they revisit and look and release your loved one. Because if Trump can get away with all he got away with and still become president, and among all these other people that done took all these black people out in 2024 and just get acquitted. Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Penny, who took a black man out on a subway in New York City, killed him, put him in a chokehold. People around him was like, he's good, he's subdued, let him up, he's gonna die. And what he did, what happened? He died. And yes, if he can get acquitted, there was another man that killed a black man that got acquitted. There were correctional officers, all white men, that bound a black man down in prison, killed him. And it was on TV. Why are we not talking about that? We're not. Trump just talked about, well, let's take it back. There's a domestic terrorist that was, and I always get, what is it called? I always get, my videos always get pushed to the back because of my words, but I can't help it. I got to speak the truth. I am going to speak the truth. Okay. But in Louisiana, there was a terrorist that killed 15 people died because he ran a truck through the crowd in the French quarters. Trump was saying that was immigrant. He was saying that he was blaming that on a migrant crime because he has an agenda and he wants y'all to be with his agenda. If you fight him, maybe we can win. He wants y'all to be in that agenda because he wants to deport people and he wants to lower taxes for rich people and make up the money difference from the poor. That means stop giving your peoples them food stamps and Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare. Take from that pot, rob Peter to pay Paul so that the rich people like him can get tax cuts. Stay woke. So I would like to start off with none other than Jasmine Crockett. Hopefully y'all can hear this, because I'm not the only one that's checking for this Antichrist, because that's what I think Elon is. I think he's the Antichrist. How you coming up in our country? Up in our country getting rich with subsidies? You come into our country getting rich with subsidies, and you're trying to change our democracy. You're coming to dismantle protections that black people need. We don't need discrimination in workplaces, especially in this economy. But that's what Elon Musk did. And at this time, after he done got Trump, he bought Trump the whole election, spent money to get Trump elected. manipulated the votes and got Trump in. He says now on Twitter or X that he wants the spaces to be positive and kind. As he now starts to, if you pay attention to these devils, now he's trampling over to Canada, and his focus is on Britain and UK, because now the people of Canada are saying, no, Elon, stay away from our country, stay away from our land. Don't come over here trying to buy elections, and you have an agenda, and you just, trying to buy our elections and take over and dismantle our parliamentary. But that's what Elon is doing. So y'all got to pay attention. So I want to start off here with Jasmine Crockett. She's in the house right now. Again, it's important to pay attention, black people. A lot of black people don't want to pay attention to what's going on in the government. And I have been guilty of that. If you ask your loved ones and you ask them if you're into it and you're aware of what's going on with politics, you ask them, they probably say, I don't pay attention, I don't believe in it, and I don't care. Wrong fucking answer. That's the wrong answer. You have to pay attention. You need a job. These people are really trying to change the laws. I keep telling y'all, they're really working on changing laws. The Republicans are really working on your being demolished, degraded, or any other word that's going to take from you. So you have to pay attention to what's happening, because it's very important and it's going to affect you. Anyway, let me play this video here. This is MSNBC, and here's what Jasmine has to say and how she's focused in going to make sure that she fights every step of the way.
Yale historian Timothy Snyder told The Guardian, Trump is a little guy and Musk is a big guy when it actually comes to money. And I think if you were a friend of Trump, you would be worried. This has all been one big gift to Democrats who've been doing some soul searching of their own after losing working class voters to Donald Trump in 2024 and struggling to rebrand. But now they can say no one voted to send this billionaire to the White House, but there he is, pulling all of the strings, exerting control over Republicans and influencing policy. The puppet master. I should note that these are all AI-generated images that we are playing for you right now, but are they really that far from reality? Joining me now to start the second hour is Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Congresswoman, good to see you. Let's just start with your reaction to the fact that there seems to be trouble in paradise between this bromance with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and how you think that may play out.
Yeah, hopefully it's cutting season instead of cuffing season for these two. Listen, I think that Donald absolutely wants to cut the strings, but he really doesn't know how. I mean, this is a guy who has always decided that he wanted to surround himself with people that had money and or power. And right now, all he cares about is money. Listen, for those that felt like he was going to be their savior and be the guy that was looking out for the middle class, he has never been middle class. And so he's not looking out for them. We know that he is filling his cabinet, or at least attempting to fill his cabinet, with other people that are very wealthy. He is looking out for his future and what that will look like. And so that's why it is difficult for him to cut the strings, because he needs Elon.
Cutting season versus cuffing season, that is...
And I watched this podcast called I've Had It. And listen, when I go in on other races, I got to be careful. I try to be careful. And I hope that the black community, who is really fighting the good fight and trying to help the community so we don't get effed over, I watched this podcast called I've Had It, and they're white, two ladies, and they read Trump all day, and I enjoy every minute of it. Absolutely. Their cause is my cause. And what they brought to light was they think Trump is going broke. Is Trump going broke is the title of their video. And it's a good question. Think about it. Trump is convicted, and some of his sentences were dropped, but there's also the sentence he had for the misconduct that the judge is going to sentence him on January 10th. They also said, she said that he might even be involved in some fun embezzlement, like all the money that he raised for the campaign. There could have been some embezzlement. There could have been some spending money on other things. It was just a good show, but I definitely agree that the way Trump is moving, having all these billionaires like Elon and the head of Facebook, uh the owner of Facebook, Google, having all of them as his, I don't know, just having them up with him, I think that's a sign that he's going to broke, y'all. I'm trying. Yeah, I think that's a sign that he's trying to align his pockets, because he's definitely facing some financial hardship, and it's just really obvious.
Quite poetic. I appreciate it. It's kind of hard to go someone who put $250 million in your campaign, though. I don't know how that happens, leaving somebody on red like that. But in a serious note, Congresswoman, there is a real threat of conflicts of interest and national security threats that Elon Musk poses, being that close to the president, running the Office of Government Efficiency, and then also having as many tentacles throughout government with respect to the merger of private industry and where he sits. What are Democrats doing to stay on top of that and make sure that these potential conflicts of interest do not threaten the American people?
Yeah, it's sad to say, but I think the threat is already here. I don't think that this is a matter of if, but a matter of when. And it is one of the reasons that I am attempting to continue my service on the Oversight Committee, because it is going to be really important that in that committee, even if our chairman, Comer, does not want to have very real conversations about these threats that are being presented for all American people because of the conflicts of interest that Elon has. One of the things that people did not talk about a lot in that continuing resolution that Elon blew up, part of it was really about him. It had nothing to do with additional monies being shelled out anywhere. It had everything to do with disallowing him from engaging in some of the investments that we believe that he is trying to do as it relates to China. We know that we have seen continual aggression coming from China. We know that Russia is not necessarily our best friend, regardless of the fact that Trump doesn't recognize this. And so with him sitting in these rooms, with him not necessarily being put into a position where he has to be Senate confirmed, with him being able to actually basically puppeteer the incoming president and having his own individual interests, whether we're talking about the contracts that he's looking for, those defense contracts, those federal dollars, I'm sure those are not the ones that he's going to seek to cut.
I be into this. Like, I'm learning so much. When she said that the contracts, that's how Elon got rich in our country. He's not from here. He doesn't even have a visa. From what I'm learning is that Elon he was supposed to go to school and he didn't go. So he illegally came and invaded our country. He got all these government contracts and got rich running a scheme. And she said that he does not have to go through Senate. Everybody that Trump picks, they have to go through Senate, and they have to, have a hearing. They have to have an interview, investigation, an FBI investigation. Trump, he specifically created a department for Elon to run. But the effed up part about it is he gave him the ability to run our funds. So this man don't have to go through FBI clearance, and he doesn't have to go through Senate. Some Republicans, even as racist as most of them are and hateful as they are, there are some that still stick with their traditional Republican status and standards. So they're not going to allow everybody in, even if they holler Trump, Trump, Trump. If they're on Trump's side, some Republicans are not going to just let them slide. Just like Matt Gaetz, they didn't allow him to be an administrator because of his background, because of the SA that he was caught messing with kids and all that type of stuff. So they do hold some standards. The fact that Trump created a whole department for Elon, who is not a citizen, for one, who did not go through the proper channels himself to become a citizen, and who has not gotten a FBI background check, has not gotten questioned by the Senate House. All the people that sit in the Senate House. He was supposed to get questioned and interviewed. Trump created a whole position for him called Doge, which handles our money. And Elon is on X the whole time bragging about how he's going to take away DEI, take away these things, how we are going to feel it for a while. He said we are going to have high prices, we're going to go real high, and then he said then it'll calm down. But why does somebody like him get to manage our money? The motherfuckers, they take our taxes, we don't have a say. But for our taxes to be put in the hands of somebody that is just shady. It's just, all of this is shady. All of it is shady. So I just wanted to fill y'all in because some of you may not know what she's talking about.
We really need to make sure that we are highlighting this for the American people and doing everything that we can, even if it means that we've got to go to Trump's Supreme Court and try to get them to do what they are supposed to do, which is to follow precedents and follow the law and follow the Constitution.
Yes,
I want to play a portion of an interview that aired today with my colleagues on the weekend, and retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore, who was making the case as to why Musk is, in fact, a national security risk, particularly with respect to his ties in China. We'll talk on the other side of this. Take a listen.
This might be the only time I agree with Steve Bannon. He has questioned Musk's influence and his capability and his connection with the foreign leaders. Musk has conversations with Chinese president, with the Russian president. He's got an enormous amount of influence. I guess that's what comes with being the richest man in the world.
Do you agree with that? Is, in fact, Elon Musk, or should he be seen as a national security risk?
He is.
He absolutely should be. I mean, it's been laid out. But this is a matter of really Americans deciding that they're going to stand up and say something, right? We know that when it comes to MAGA and when it comes to Trump, they believe that they have a mandate. But exactly what that mandate is, I don't know, because, you know, he has made it clear that he's like, well, I don't know if I can really get the cost of food down. Well, I can tell you that his base needs to be loud about the fact that they want to be safe in this country. And I need people not to take it for granted that we do have oceans on the east and the west coast of us that are actually helpful to us. It's water that helps us. But with, you know, Musk and Trump talking about Canada and talking about Mexico and talking about expanding the United States while also palling around with the likes of Putin, who obviously, in my opinion, has been in violation of so many international laws when it comes to deciding that he was going to go into Ukraine and how he has conducted himself in this war. I mean, it seems like we're living in the upside down, and we need some real adults in the room. And right now, I don't see that he has picked any to surround himself with that will talk about the fact that this is not The Apprentice. This is not a TV show. This is real life, and real Americans are relying on him to step up to the plate and actually be the president of the United States and not be a guy that is going to submit himself to the likes of Xi Jinping.
All right.
Period.
Every time.
So this is why I love Miss Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Y'all got to check her out, okay? Like I said, these young people, like Representative Crockett, Presley, Lee, Summers, Raskin, even the Jewish ones, they don't play. And that's the type, and Hakeem Jeffries, who should have one house. But it's okay because the Republicans have a slim majority, and they're going to need the Democrats, and the Democrats have made a pact that they are not going to help the Republicans demolish us. They're not going to help them and vote against themselves. And I know that if nobody, and I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of the white people that were supposed to vote for themselves, they obviously, you saw the data, they voted against themselves. They stood on the Zoom with Kamala and, you know, made a pact. Some of them did vote, and I want to appreciate that. But there was a lot that voted against themselves. But people like Jasmine and them, they're not going to pass laws and give a yes or a yay to a vote that they know is going to take from us. So I appreciate the fact that she's standing, and I know that since she focused on Elon, I know that she as a civil rights attorney, she gonna be watching him like a hawk. And so I have some peace in that we do have some good people that still are gonna be fighting. Y'all may not understand how important it is, but I do. I mean, telling you, I've been glued. I've been watching. I've been watching everything that's going on. But yeah, y'all, Elon is now over there trying to talk about Canada this, UK this, and their government. He over there meddling now in their government, just like he was meddling around in our government. And idiots, and I'm sorry to call you, but I'm not sorry, MAGA, you really are paranoid. You have a mental illness. Like, I never seen a people, all of them are Karens. They Karens. MAGA is Karens. These people are Karens. They meddle. They're very hyper paranoid, obsessed with black, anything to do with black. And sadly, the Republicans that got this election, they're all MAGA. They all are for whatever Trump is for. And again, you gotta use common sense. If Trump is knowing that once he is no longer president, this is his last time as a president, he cannot run again. He's a lame duck. And because of that, he's got all these lawsuits that he got to pay off. He got to pay that woman $5 million. I think it's even more than that. I think that the judge said that was just a portion he got to pay. And you could see Trump, if you haven't, he's over there selling sneakers, Bibles. The man is a blaspheme. Like, I have never in my day saw such shame. But you know what? Again, for the Christians, we better open that book up, because we are seeing in front of us that it's not going to get better. We're now in Revelations, and we're now watching the Antichrist. The spirit of the Antichrist is here. It's absolutely here. And I personally think Elon is the devil. I personally think Elon might be half robot. I have seen Dr. Phil, when some of the guests on the show, he had a show where they would actually get the robot, I don't know, the chips in them, the robotic arms. They would have the surgeries to get their abs switched out and change it to be like AI. Seriously. I truly think this weirdo is the Antichrist. But y'all, that's not it. Elon allegedly, it might not, okay, it came up. So this is what I found out. Breaking news: Elon Musk confronts Beyonce. You should be fined for impersonating a country singer. Now, I can't get as loud as I want to get and go off like I like to get. I can't help myself. But you got to understand, from my perspective, I've been watching the racist work. If you go on X, you're going to see it nonstop. If you get in that sector where it's political, you're going to see it nonstop. The things that I heard Elon come out and say out of his mouth is straight racism. And he leans on, and he definitely rates bait and causes division. But anyway, this article, crazy, says recently an unexpected confrontation between Elon Musk and Beyonce attracted public attention. Now, Beyonce, I don't know why they acting like she was even saying anything back to him, because we know Beyonce, she does not even engage. But it says an unexpected confrontation between Elon Musk and Beyonce attracted public attention. In a shocking statement, Musk criticized Beyonce, saying she should be punished for impersonating a country artist. Musk's statement immediately caused a stir, of course, not only because of the surprise in choosing Beyonce as his target, but also because it reflected a complicated relationship between two highly influential figures in various fields, music and technology. And that's not why it caused a stir, because the Beehive don't play. And on top of that, a sector of black people don't play about ours. This man these people, I'm telling you, all of these people, these MAGA people, they really are Nazi-like, really hateful, and they have a real obsession with black people. The fact that Beyonce killed that NFL performance, all attention, 27 million viewers more viewers than Netflix itself got. They can't take. It's the fact that right now Jay-Z's not in the best light, and the world would want, well, the haters would want that to fall on Beyonce. The fact that people hate that this girl can sing is really jealousy. But that is the real drive to why this thing, ugly, okay, I'm not, we know he's not cute though. This robot is coming for her. Because if he did come for her and say she's impersonating, just like all black creations, for some reason, it slips through our fingers. And we don't have the infrastructure, and we don't own the copyright to ours. But let's not act like country music was not owned by black people. Let's not. Or if you're not going to give us that, you can't take the fact that we got country singers. Like, you cannot take that from us. And yet they try. The fact that this woman is beautiful and has a beautiful body type, and the fact that she composes herself through all the stuff that people say about her, she still don't stoop on her low level. She still maintains class because that's her personality. That's what they hate, and it's an obsession. So that's why the Beehive came for his ass. And I think, because I'm just seeing this article, but earlier I did see that he said he wanted the platform to be more positive. Yeah, probably after they stung his ass. After they stung him, yeah, I can see that. All right, so there's something happening with Jay-Z. I just saw this. Yeah, with Jay-Z, looks like Alex Spiro and Jay-Z is real angry, coming for YouTubers. But this is I don't like this shit though. Okay, what I don't like is that you sending a cease and desist to who looks like a content creator, but it was him and his law firm that the Ratchet TV traced back. They was trying to slick on a slide, harass the Ratchet TV, and he happened to be live, and I'm glad he put it on air because they try to make him look like he was crazy. They was calling his phone. He traced the number back to Alex Spiro's or wherever that law firm, the law firm. And he ended up talking to Tony Busby law firm and confirmed that calls, those hundreds of calls he was getting, was from, all connected and tied back to Jay-Z and them. So the fact now that you're trying to get ahead of the story and ahead of the game because you was caught, and there was a lot of other people that said they experienced some very auspicious activity with their internet connection as they were talking about Jay-Z. In the case, you're trying to get ahead of it. So here's what happened today, or yesterday the 3rd. Yeah, yesterday the 3rd. It says, "Dear Mr. Xander, we write on behalf of Sean Jay-Z Carter to formally notify you of actions taken by one of your probationers, Ronnie Martin, known on YouTube as Ronnie Bo, that may have legal consequences for him and others. Mr. Martin, in coordination with Anthony Busby and his client, Jane Doe, has engaged in a deliberate conspiracy with others to falsify civil SA claims against my client, Mr. Carter. In an effort to resolve the matter, on December 30th, 2024, Mr. Carter served a notice to cease and desist related to this action. Through the course of this fraudulent activity, Mr. Martin played an integral role in the creation and propagation of fabricated allegations, which were intended to cause harm to Mr. Carter's reputation and to facilitate a malicious legal action against my client." Yeah, so they basically, filed a cease and desist. These false claims were a product of collusion and misrepresentation orchestrated by your probationer, Ronnie Martin, and his co-conspirator, Jaguar Wright. Yeah, Jaguar Wright. This is what everybody been saying, that Jay-Z is suing Jaguar. Well, it looks like this is step 1. Given your position, okay, because I didn't know that he was just going to say Jaguar, right? Given your position as Mr. Martin's probation officer, we are bringing this matter to your attention. as it involves a clear abuse of legal process and an attempt to maliciously damage my client's personal and professional standing. Accordingly, Mr. Carter respectfully requests that you immediately investigate this matter in your capacity as Mr. Martin's probation officer and take any necessary action to ensure that Mr. Martin is held accountable for his involvement in this conspiracy. Furthermore, we demand that Mr. Martin cease and desist from any further attempts to interfere with or undermine the integrity of Mr. Carter's reputation and legal standing. If Mr. Martin's involvement in these actions continues, we will not hesitate to pursue all available legal remedies, including but not limited to civil suits for defamation, conspiracy, and other relevant claims. And we look forward to your prompt attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Quinn Emanuel. That's the law firm that was calling Ratchet TV. It was traced back to Quinn Emanuel. So this is what I'm telling you. Now, certain people are trying to get ducks in a row. Now they're trying to do it the right way, because even the judge had to scold Spiro, because Spiro came off wrong, came off demanding to dismiss the case. By the time the judge got all the paperwork, she got 5-6 letters of you telling me what to do. You telling me to dismiss the case. How you don't dismiss the case? How you telling me what to do? So she got with Alex and she said, absolutely not. You will write this letter, or you know, this is not helping you. You know, it's not going in your favor. And because of that, he ended up writing a letter asking, as he should have in the first place, for a motion to dismiss. And the judge, she responded. She gave him dates, February date, then in March date. The other lawyer, Tony Busby, can respond. But I do believe this is him getting ahead, trying to now do it the right way. But here's my problem. The sneaky sly that has been happening when you go and you try to threaten and harass and intimidate people that get 20,000 views, 30,000, views, people that can reach a mass amount of people in a little time. You try to scare them off. You could have did this in the first place. You could have sent the cease and desist instead of trying to scare and threaten people. The dude was threatened. Ratchet TV was threatened. He said that the text said, this is what I'm doing now to your internet, but I can do more. Instead of him writing this letter to Ratchet TV, it was underhanded. So what it makes it look like is that there's a lot of other underhanded things that you do, that you go secretively in other areas instead of coming straight forward. What else do the judge, what else does the investigators have to look into? These other claims that maybe Jaguar Wright has said, because of your actions, it makes people want to check and see what else you could have done. But like I said, in my opinion, I think that in this particular case with the Jane Doe, right now, I don't think that they got enough evidence to really pursue anything. I am no lawyer, but it to me does not seem like they have enough to really pursue anything. So it may go somewhere once that evidence is brought forth and the court at least have a chance to see it. The girl went and did that interview, was terrible. It was not a good idea, because it definitely made me not believe her. I feel like she's a liar. I feel like she's just a money hungry girl, and that's how I feel. And I could be wrong, but I believe that evidence can come forward, and I am willing to. I want to see it. So another thing with this political mess, this cute, handsome guy, I did not initially think was a black man, in Louisiana, in New Orleans, in Enola. I don't know what he done bumped his head on. I don't know who done put something in his drink. I don't understand it. But this man took his F-150 and drove it into a crowd of people. And after that, people actually passed away because of his actions. But what did Trump do? Trump when he first heard the story, he posted because of his agenda. His agenda is Trump wants to close the borders. More so, I think the at the core of it, I really feel like it's always comes down to hate. Always comes down to racism. I don't know if this man care about the economy. I honestly, I'm lying. I don't think this man. I don't think this man care about the economy. If he cared about the economy, then you wouldn't be talking about taking special protections away from a marginalized group of people and a whole people of this country. No. And also how you wouldn't be trying to take the votes away and the things. So no. But he says to that right there, that terror, he said, with the Biden open borders policy, I said many times during rallies and elsewhere that radical Islamic terrorism and other forms of violent crime will become so bad in America that it will become hard to even imagine or believe. That time has come, only worse than ever imagined. Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of America, in all caps, he says this. A complete and total disaster. What he and his group of election interfering thugs have done to our country will not soon be forgotten. MAGA. And this is what I'm saying. So Trump was pushing that this person that went through that crowd was an immigrant. Now, we noticed, we know they showed more pictures of this guy when he was younger. He looked more black. By this man's name, Shamsa Din Jabbar. Obviously, he gotta be mixed, cause it ain't given in the hair and the eyes and the skin texture that the man is all. I don't know. It's just a fact. He's mixed, especially down in that way down in the NOLA, down in the French Quarters. It could be some. It definitely is given, but you could mistake him for being a foreigner. You can mistake him for being from Al-Qaeda or somewhere, Al-Qaeda, or wherever it's called. But no, this is a man that's born in the country. He's from Texas, but Fox News was posting that this was a terrorist from an immigrant that came across the border to MAGA, to people that are paranoid, that lack integrity, people that have no empathy, people that have an obsession of racism. They just hate people. You send this message through your feeds that this man is an immigrant. What it will do is cause more oppression for anybody that's may look like an immigrant, any Mexican American, anybody that speaks with an accent. Just be bullied. Just a bunch of Karens wildly screaming Second Amendment #2. These people are obsessed with having heavy metal, obsessed with carrying weapons, obsessed with that G-right, having a G-right. This is what they are obsessed with hate. And they are a living, radicalized, crazed people. But yeah, so people was correcting them all over. The news was correcting them and trying to correct the wrong and say, no, this was this was not an immigrant. This was domestic. And come to find out, he's also a vet. He is a vet, a veteran. He served the military. Moving along. So Trump finds that out, and you would think that Trump would correct as a leader of the free world. This is our person that's elected, that's supposed to be the head and the lead. You would think he would make the corrections. You would think he does not want to cause there to be violence. But here's what he said. Our country is a disaster, a laughingstock all over the world. This is what happens when you have open borders with weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. Everything the fuck he is. And I can't help it. I can't. The DOJ, FBI, and Democrat state and local prosecutors have not done their job, Trump said. They are incompetent and corrupt. How? But everybody else is at fault. It's everybody else that lacks competency except Trump. As a leader, you are the one that when that ship go down, you go down with it. You go down first. You sit in the head of the ship. You going down by the nose. But this is not the kind of leader you have elected. You have elected a man that cries 24/7. Cries. You are stronger than this person. But yet, so many people said they voted for him because they felt that he was strong or that he was rich, because they have pipe dreams and hoop dreams and they wanted to be rich. I guess they looked up to him. As I've said, how many billionaires do you know that actually helps the poor? Which billionaire actually cares about your concerns? Who? No one. No one. Nobody care about you and your little pockets. Trump while he was running for president, the man said he wanted to give the death penalty to drug dealers. He said this. He said that the people that's on death row, can we just end them already? He said it. He said it. He wanted to get it over with. He wanted to do it quickly. He said, get rid of them. Get them out. Get them going. Send them up the river. The man y'all voted for. But you know who don't really care about this? MAGA. MAGA doesn't care because MAGA, they not thinking that these policies, they not policies, but the rhetoric will affect them. They wasn't seeing that it would affect them until competition came. The competition was when Elon talked about bringing in H-1B visas, Indians, to work from other countries. So they ran on, campaigned on, deport them, deport them, deport them, immigrants them, deport them, get them up out of here. That's what got MAGA, the hate stirred up, and you know they love it. They had orgasms over it. But come to find out, after he wins, he turns on his own dummies. And now they not paying us no mind now. They too busy upset with Trump, or more so Elon. They still don't want to blame Trump fully. Elon. Now they turned on Elon. Because Elon's plan is to bring in H-1B visas, work visas, because he wants to bring Indians in to work what? His companies. His plan is to bring them in because you don't have to pay them that much. And if they feel like slaves and they speak up, you send their butts right back to India. Everybody want to come to America. So you know they're going to put up with it just so they can come to America. Give them the American dream, selling them a dream. So MAGA's upset with them now. But yet Trump says they are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent. Me, crybaby. Rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government. How the fuck you calling people violent scum and you're a president? Why did y'all elect him? Just tell me that. Riddle me this. Why'd y'all elect him? Any black born body that elected him need to feel that motherfucking heat on their ass. Cause you dumb motherfucker. Like you are the marginalized group, bae. How can you fall for that? Dude, he said you're scum if you are an immigrant. And Latinos voted for this man at high proportions. What y'all doing? Now, the immigrants can't vote. But these your family. These your loved ones. They share your bloodline. They share your bloodline. They are your people. Now, why would you vote? Why would you even get anybody to vote for this nigga? He not a nigga. For this man. Because he just called y'all violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government. And yet they are wanting the Indians to come over so they can work their companies like slaves and get paid pennies. Why aren't y'all good enough to work? That's what I don't understand. But then he says Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. I can't. I can't. Okay. The CIA must get involved now before it is too late. The USA is breaking down. A violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on James. Shut up. That's all this bitch care about. I don't like this motherfucker. God forgive me. Now I want to show y'all what he doing. He don't give a fuck about none of this. What he do care about is hating on immigrants. He cares about that. This is this ugly one right here, right? This ugly motherfucker. This right here, this one. Who wants to be white. I ain't buying, I wouldn't dare. But this man wants to be white. He identifies with white and he's delusional. I believe he does. I saw him in an interview, Ramaswamy. I seen some nice little sharp Indians, but you not one of them. You are not one of them. But that one right there, I heard him say the most racist. I heard him, he's racist. Just know that. But what Trump is over there doing, Trump is at parties, dancing to YMCA, which is a black man's song. Dancing to YMCA. Elon is over there dancing to YMCA. Partying. These people don't care nothing about what's happening in our communities, y'all. They don't care about you, and you voted. Look, instead of that being Biden, you can also add Trump. Cause that look crazy too. But I'm trying to tell you, I believe that we are at the end. All right, so that was that. Oh, so that was that. Now you would think there's the next one. Was like go right here. So that was that terrorist, right? He had all that to say about that terrorist there. But another situation happened, and if you can see that car is Elon's car right here, and it's in front of a Trump Tower, and the person that offed itself, which was so dumb. Gosh, that's the dumbest thing you could do. Dumbest, stupid, just not smart at all. But he did it. He offed himself in Elon's car in front of Trump Towers. People was thinking, like, I'm thinking, okay, that's a message. That's a message. This is a message. Maybe this is a Democrat. Maybe this is a man that does not agree with Trump's agenda. But no, he's a Trump supporter and offed himself in front of Trump Towers in an Elon car. These people are drunk with demons. They are drunk with demons. But here is what Fox had to say. Here's what Fox had to say about what happened. It's the note he left that let me know that he was a Trump supporter. Y'all, take a look.
Were important to share for now.
It's hard to hear. You
One
might have to
is
turn
in
it
the
up.
note application. He seemed to have two letters. One letter in particular, as you can see here, this is an excerpt from that letter. He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. He goes on to explain a variety of other grievances and issues, some political, some personal, a variety of other things, which we will do our best to release very quickly here. But then there's a second letter where there's some more excerpts. This one seems to be dated after the fact in that notes application. And in there, you can read a couple of the excerpts. We are the United States of America, the best country, people to ever exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. I'd like to just also expand on that and understand that these are just excerpts. In there, he does offer additional information that is varying on the spectrum in terms of political grievances, issues about the conflicts elsewhere, not here, domestic issues, societal issues, a variety of other things, including personal challenges as well.
Oh, wow. So he took himself out, left a note. He did it for his brothers. He did it for the people he hurt. So the man was obviously mentally ill and suffering. But that's the dumbest thing you could do is kill yourself. Do you know if you kill yourself, you going straight to hell? You do not go to heaven at all. You don't. If you take yourself out, that is the way to go to hell. Straight to hell. And you ain't coming out of there. And you're gonna feel every flame. And the demons are going to torment. So do not play with death. If you sad, if you hurting that bad, you better talk to somebody. Find a church. Stop judging the pastor so much. Find one that at least you can feel God's presence. They preach the word. If it feel too good in church, you probably at the wrong ones. Go to the one that's preaching the word. That's what we need. We not good. We're not powerful. The word is. So don't take yourself out, because that's going to take your behind straight to the fire. And that's exactly what happened to him. I can guarantee you that. He is so sorry he did that. Now he sees the truth. He sees. You could choose to not hear my cause and hear what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Don't find out too late, y'all. All right. So that was that. And just checking to see if it was something else. Yeah. That was that. I'm reading. Yeah, that was his motive. His motive was he was a Trump supporter, and he thought that taking himself out was a solution. Now, this last thing we read that Trump said? That's all. I didn't see anything else. He didn't acknowledge this guy. Why he didn't have anything to say about him? Except he said Trump was right about everything. He didn't say anything about that white man. But he had everything to say about the black. That's what he had to say. Everything to say about the black. So if you think that man is going to help you, you got to wake up. You got to wake your butt up. Wake yourself up. Not they got Satan trending. They got Satan trending. Hold up. It says Satan. But look, the people are awake. They are showing the truth. Evil doesn't die. It reinvents itself. That they're showing what they see, and that they're starting to see that this is the devil we dealing with. We dealing with real spirits, and I'm not trying to drag on. That whole Republican side is, y'all don't see it yet, maybe, but that whole Republican side already is in formation. The prophecy of God is going to come to pass. As I close out, the prophecy of God will be fulfilled. And in the book of Revelation, remember, that is the final book. And we are seeing that book right before our eyes. And I know there's a prophetess on social media. Her name is Celestial. And because some of the things she said didn't come to pass, a lot of people made videos and talked about her and things like that. I feel like very well that she is telling the truth from what she saw. I feel that what she saw was Trump was jumping up as high as the heavens on a trampoline. As he came down, there was protection. He was on the trampoline. So when he jumped up, boom, he pops up, he goes down, he goes up as high as he gets, and then he has great falls. But then he excels again. Doesn't it look like now? At one point, she said God took the protection away from him, and someone came when he was up and high, and they removed the trampoline. They removed his protection. So what she said made so much parallel sense to me, that God took away his protection from under him. When he was high, he wasn't seeing what was down below. He wasn't looking. He was high up. He was jumping up, have his heights. MAGA's for him. MAGA have his back. MAGA is and he's in his ego. But when he came down that last time, somebody came and removed the trampoline of protection. And the way that Celestial said it, it had to be the law enforcement that protects him. somebody from the inside. And I'm not saying, and I probably shouldn't be saying all this because this is just legend. This is just dreams and visions. These, it's no, you know what I mean? But this is the thing. People forget that God loves his people, and black people are his people. Black people, anybody that's more oppressed, more, it's marginalized and oppressed. You can tell by when the Bible talks about the poor, how he tells us to love, how he talks about the rich. Lazarus, remember the Lazarus in the rich man? Lazarus stood outside the rich man's gates. A poor homeless man was asking for alms, and the rich man will walk past him all the time and never give him nothing. One day the rich man died and opened his eyes, and he was in hell, burning, and Lazarus was still alive. And the man said, begged the Lord to have Lazarus just drop some of his water, drop a little, just a dot of water on his tongue. So God is very much for the poor. He's very much for the people. And I just see just this whole world we are in right now, we are definitely not going to get better. Jasmine Crockett was right when she said that the people going to have to fight. And I think even if we fight, it's still written. The prophecy is already written. We can fight all we want to. And I do believe we'll have some wins. But remember, Republicans got the House, they got the Senate, and they got the presidency. So the things that they want to implement, they don't care about black people. And unbeknownst to browns, they don't care about the brown people that try so hard to please them. The stuff they want to do, they want to enrich themselves. Where you think where you think that money is coming from? You think they're going to say, "Oh no, let's not touch Social Security. Let's just find our own pockets to take out of and rob Peter here, pay Paul." No, they're coming for us, and they've already said it in our face. And if you listen to that video, that veteran, the last one, he said DEI has no place in the military. And I've heard other people in my day-to-day life that's vets that said that they don't want gays in the military. And the way the rule used to be is don't ask, don't tell. They don't want he, she, them, they in the military. They are very clear on that. And that's what they associate with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, even though it's not just about transgenders and LGBT. It's not. It's about, it's a stem off of civil rights. Making sure you have an opportunity the same way somebody else does by law. And if you don't, you can sue. But now they want to take that away so you can't sue. And they also want to take away the data. I don't know if she said it in this video, but Jasmine on one time, she said they also want to take away the data that determines how many percentage of black people work at this job, how many percentages of Hispanic, how many percentage of white. They don't want the data. Trump in them said that. So if they don't want you to have diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they don't want to be able to track, the FBI tracks it, and they don't want you to be able to track it. And they also want to Project 2025 talks about repealing civil rights, and they want to repeal civil rights. I don't know what that means, but I know it's touching it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. It's not a privilege. It's a right. I think racists sometimes think that we have black privilege. It might look like that, but it's not. It's all about rights. But they want to take that. Imagine that. Imagine that. If you got all Republicans and they write the bills and they pass the bills, they can easily take away our rights. But that's why Jasmine said it's the Democrats that are going to have to fight. So y'all, that's it. I'm done rambling. I'm done with it. I hope I gave you something you didn't have before, some kind of information. Please hit the like button, and thank you for your support. Y'all have a good night. Peace.